What a potent system we have here with a big band of snow, but rain out ahead of it. What does that mean? This is a strong low pressure system, and it is definitely going to bring active weather. Blizzard warnings in effect in red, winter storm warnings all around. That's a huge widespread area of the nation being heavily affected with the storm as we just dump in like a jet major cold air, except it's nowhere near as warm as a jet engine, that's for sure. This is frigid stuff, one of the coldest Christmases on record. It'll moderate a little bit going into next week, and we see this warmth push into the west. Will that move eastward? We'll talk about that here coming up. But these wind chills, just absolutely wild. -30, -40 degrees below zero there. And look at how quick that temperature drops. We go from like 40 above to -15 on those wind chills in a hurry. And it stays very cold, -15 and -25 below zero or so for a little while. And then we moderate a little bit, especially further south. But this is major chilly weather. That is for sure. This is dangerous cold for sure. Okay, warm front here. So we get the mild air. And how is that going to affect things? Well, our issue with it is we get rain. And then that major flash freeze falling way below 32, and then comes moderate to briefly heavy snow. Well, that lowest layer is going to turn into a little sheet of ice, and then you're going to get the snow on top of it. And then how about 40, 50 mile per hour wind gusts to blow it all around like crazy? That's a pretty decent storm, even if you're getting 2 inches of snow. But look, that's some pretty good stuff. Lake enhancement off of the Great Lakes. Changing over to some lake effect, snow into the interior northeast, a little system that we'll see out across portions of the northwest as well. But there will be some pretty good snowfall totals when all said and done for the Great Lakes snowbelt areas. And this is a decent snowmaker. Elsewhere, it's just not going to be anything too crazy. We're talking about a widespread few inches. Few spots get a several inches, but there you go. There's where you could have a foot or two easy across your Great Lakes snowbelts, depending on the exact wind. There'll be some nice enhancement and then a little bit of just straight lake effect back behind it. Notice the big cities along the East Coast not seeing much at all. It stays into the interior northeast. Okay, so how windy do we get? Well, widespread 20 to 30 miles per hour sustained winds, gusts 30 to 40, but occasionally to 50, and isolated amounts can't be rolled out, especially around the lakes, of 60 miles per hour, which is severe weather like from a thunderstorm. That can certainly cause some damage and also power outages for sure, and you don't want power outages with this major cold. It's going to be blowing and drifting. Again, even if you get a few inches of snow, that will be pretty significant, causing those whiteout conditions and true blizzard conditions for a little while. We wind down, just a few flurries. It gets pretty quiet after that system going into early next week. There'll be a couple of guys coming in from the Pacific Northwest. There could be a little clipper system that drops into the plains and middle portion of the country, or it could drop into the Great Lakes, maybe like Monday and a Tuesday. We'll see. Not set in stone. Temperatures mild up a little bit out west, so you're not going to see some of those lower elevation snows. There's not going to be too much across the east at all, going all the way through 1 week. What about those temperatures? Well, this is just insane, crazy cold pushing on in. Very widespread, maxed out on these temperature anomalies. Are talking 30, 40 degrees below where we typically would be. And the cold weather, the very, very cold weather sticks around for a little while. This is a major blast of cold for December standards, but we'll start moderating things very nicely. We're talking about very warm weather into the west, and oh no, there goes Frosty the Snowman right there, because that warmth, that's coming eastward, and that's widespread well above average temperatures by the time we get towards the new year. So wild, wacky changes coming up this week. Thanks for watching.